For the first time ever, NA has taken a win off of Korea in OWCS. How did they do it? Off the back of one incredible player, Zera, the #1 tracer in the West.
Zera fighting Chorong there is really big. I mean, you've just removed such a huge source of healing, and yes, lethal goes down here, but Zera's not done.
Zera's dominating on the tracer right now. By the way, too, just an unbelievable tracer play.
He's not healing the team.
The stick. Oh, Zera gets another stick. Being, but Zera's still looking for an entrance, and he gets another stick. Life of Crazy Raccoon. However, Zera connects with the stick. Zera does it again. Nightmare. What did I just witness?
I mean, this is just unbelievable.
This match is considered one of the greatest MVP performances of all time. We've got disgusting mechanics, huge outplays, and honestly, this game isn't at all what you'd expect. So stay tuned as we hop right into the analysis of Zera's Herculean new Queen Street performance. We roll out on these compositions. Nothing super notable in my opinion. It's Crazy Raccoons, so Ball and the accompanying pieces make total sense. Yes, even Soldier. And with Hazard banned on this map, Kuffa chooses the Ramatra, possibly to squeak out a cheeky first fight win by dominating these central high grounds. As we open the game, we see Nightmare's core heading to the top left with Admiral postured to aid Zera in taking these high grounds. In the initial trade, Zera makes Heesang back off and tries to blink to the tunnel, which would give him a solid position to extend from, but he gets shot by Shu and has to recall. Kuffa is up the map. Alright, yep, that's fine, bud. Just swap on over to Winston, all good, let's reset, and okay! Zera is in this room with the Mini, scouting for prey that Kuffa can dive. Kuffa is in this right side room and he spots a prey of his own. The two go for a dive onto Chorong, trying to secure this room as a place to set the next dive from, but Junbin is on the case, forcing Kuffa to jump out and Zera to recall. Zera has to drop to the point, and dueling someone like Heesang without recall is never a fun time. Thankfully, Nightmare didn't commit everything to their last dive on the Mega. If we look at how Kuffa used Jump Bubble here, he was clearly trying to zone and not go for kills. Otherwise, he would have been much more aggressive, landing directly on top of Chorong. This means that Kuffa needs much less help, and Lethal doesn't need to fight in the room, so he's in the perfect spot to take Heesang's head off. He then slides to Bust and gets eaten alive by Lip. Not sure what his plan was. Zera starts pushing the point, but him and Kuffa are poked out by Lip and Chorong. Kuffa goes to Mega to reset and finds an amazing dive target of Chorong, so Zera rushes over for the assist. Junbin once again peels, but with one crucial difference. Zera successfully managed to get staged behind Crazy Raccoons. Unfortunately, Junbin's dive with Minefield onto Ultraviolet was successful and everyone on Nightmare gets picked besides Zera. Instead of just sitting here and waiting for next fight, Zera takes great advantage of the map type. On push, just one team fight can mean an irreparable lead for your opponent, so Zera opts to fight on the point and stall it so his team can be back. Since he's on Tracer, he's fine to do this since he'll be back on time to the fight. He also goes for and hits a pulse onto Lip. This matters just as much since, due to the map type, Lip won't be back before the point touch. Just these two small choices to die on point and pulse Lip changed this from a guaranteed checkpoint for Crazy Raccoons to a very doable 4v4 for Nightmare right before it. Kuffa touches the point and Heesang is there for a pulse bomb, but because Shu didn't go for the anti-nade, Ultraviolet can top him back up. Nightmare stabilize on the point and it's now a 5v5. Crazy Raccoons try to ult dump this fight with Nano, Visor, and Kitsune, but a nano dive from Kuffa and a rally from Admiral is just enough to zone it off, with Kuffa getting oh so very low but living regardless. Zera spent this entire time trying to run away from Heesang because he got caught lacking, but thanks to his team he's able to live and stagger the enemy tracer. Between fights, Zera spends a lot of time on the point. This is pretty common at higher levels, and unless it's a situation where the best setup for your backline happens to be where the point is, you should do the same. Tracer is fast and can go wherever she wants, not to mention she's very hard to kill. This makes her the optimal cart push on almost any composition since she can function without a setup. That's not to say that you shouldn't set up on Tracer if you get the chance, but when compared to nearly every other hero in the game, Tracer is the least useless without a setup. By doing this, Zera enables Kuffa to go for an early dive onto Lip, which forces him off of his angle and over to his Ana. Kuffa primals to force the kill with Zera following up, but Shu hits a crucial sleep, slowing them down. While this was going down, both supports of Nightmare fall to Chorong and Junbin. But how? Why were Kuffa and Zera diddying the backline when theirs was getting cooked? Shouldn't they have peeled? No. Zera and Kuffa have the job of contesting this backline and making sure they don't participate in the fight. If they were to run back and try to peel their team, they would just be letting more members of Crazy Raccoons into the fight and completely removing their potential to get the picks that could save this teamfight. If you saw my last two videos, this is synonymous with hitting the enemy tail. Because Zera and Kuffa made this play, this fight ends in a kind of stalemate for both teams. Junbin and Zera make it out alive, and while Junbin can push the point a little bit, Zera can contest it before any real progress is made. As Nightmare comes back, Crazy Raccoons opt to rotate to the high grounds where Zera has already scouted it and is able to mirror Heesang, making time for Kuffa's dive, which completely denies the position from Shu. Zera then, having seen Heesang's recall, decides that he's Asagi and he sees Rin, challenging him with Pulse Bomb. He misses. It's okay though, because Shu's rotate out is really long, meaning that Nightmare have full point and space control. All Zera has to do is camp here to stop Crazy Raccoons from taking the high ground and wait for Kuffa to go to work. Heesang goes to duel Zera but gets his recall forced. Getting recall forced in the Tracer duel is no small advantage. This pretty much means that, as long as Zera keeps this position, Heesang is entirely useless because for the next 12 seconds, if Zera gets a whiff of that fresh, uniform, and company-obligated Korean haircut, he's going to chase this man down. Kuffa gets nanoed and finds the pick onto Shu, but Zera's trying to find out who does every Korean player's haircut and decides to talk to Heesang about it, forcing him to stack and letting Zera finish off some kills. No, like seriously, why do all of them have the same haircut, guys? I don't understand. Unfortunately, mistakes were made on the side of Nightmare, and Zera gets left alone to get his fade ran by Junbin and Heesang, but even then he gets just a smidge away from killing the opposing Tracer. Nonetheless, he gets picked off. This isn't the end of the world for Nightmare though. Point got really far, meaning that if they win a fight, they will get checkpoint, and losing this fight doesn't give theirs to Crazy Raccoons. As we work towards next fight, Zera touches point with the help of By the way guys, sidebar here, so many of you know I'm an actual coach for Overwatch, and one of the most important concepts when coordinating a team is the combination of a main support and flex DPS. This can be something like a Brig Tracer, or a Lucio Genji, or really any combination of these kinds of heroes. And when I coach this to actual top 500 players, I call it Shaq and Kobe. So for the rest of this video, I'm going to do the same thing, and I probably will in future videos too. Whenever you see it in my content, just know you're one of the few who saw this video and know why. Shaq and Kobe touch the point, and once they've scouted Lip, their dive target, Zera wants to wrap over to this left side to help dive him. He runs into the opposing team's angle and ew! Nah, do not call the health inspector, Zera ain't passing. This guy is nasty. Off the back of this one clip, Nightmare gets a clean fight win, getting the lead and capping the checkpoint. Going into this next fight, you may be asking what Zera is doing. Why is bro just waiting? Well, in order to follow up on Kuffa's dive, he needs an angle so he's near these stairs. But at this level of play, Crazy Raccoons isn't just gonna give it for free. Even being seen peeking the top of this staircase is a great way to alert Lip, Heesang, or Shu to his position and let them stop him from following up. Zera waits to have all of his cooldowns and crosses this distance all at once, giving Crazy Raccoons no time to react and helping Kuffa finish off the backline. While pushing the point between fights, Kuffa gets poked out, so Nightmare has to give up a lot of space. Zera tries to pulse Lip and misses, but it was clearly intentional since he wanted to do it with his bare hands just a few moments later. Even though both supports on Nightmare get picked, Zera keeps his head on and finds the perfect angle on a low HP Chorong to even this fight out. This guy ain't done yet though, because he sees Shu's shot from inside the Mega and runs the drip check, taking him out for a truly devastating 3k. While this quirked up white boy was Why did I write this in the script? While this quirked up white Yeah, I can't do it. I can't do it. While this quirked up white boy was busting it down sexual style, the Koreans got just as many picks, so there's a bit of a stall on the point while respawns come in. When they do, Kuffa goes for a dive onto Lip and Chorong, and let's take a look at how smart Zera plays this. If we look at all of Crazy Raccoon's members near Zera, he keeps them directly on his screen. He wants to avoid being between the members of Crazy Raccoons because this would almost guarantee to force his recall or kill him. As soon as Heesang blinks away from the doorway to Zera's right, he blinks over to it, allowing him to get a deeper position onto Lip without making himself any more vulnerable to Heesang. This also gives him an amazing kite once Kuffa gets forced out. He resets to the tunnel, and while he wants to look for the backline, he gets spooked by the sound of Heesang behind him and turns to take the duel. With Lethal dead and both divers on Nightmare having retreated, CR is free to push the point and kill Nightmare's backline. Much like last time, Zera opts to die on the point and, with UV's help, gets another exit frag onto Lip. It is just not his day. As Nightmare stages the recontest, we see Zira looking for a flank, and Chorong is too busy tying his shoes or something to scout Zira, who triple blinks and lands the pulse bomb. Chorong thought he had plot armor and pops the rally, but fails to survive it, netting an advantage for Nightmare. Unfortunately, Nightmare is unable to dive into the vulnerable Anna and Sojourn, giving Crazy Raccoons time for a counterattack onto Lethal while Junbin fights Zira on point to stall it. Chorong is back and oh, no he's not. Zira looks to distract Shu and patiently waits to have 2 blinks before getting aggressive on the Ana, since using his only blink to rush in towards the best Ana in the world is maybe not the best idea. He manages to force Shu's nade and nano boost, but Crazy Raccoons take out his backline and win the fight. Man, I really see why he got MVP now. He has been almost flawless for 3 minutes and his backline just keeps exploding. If Zira wasn't stalling the point to the extent he has been, I think Crazy Raccoons would have full capped by now. On to the final team fight, Kuffa jumps the point and Zira catches Lip without a slide and tries to secure the kill. The peel from Chorong and Shu save him, but it's not without benefit. Crazy Raccoon's backline is out of the fight and Zira is in an amazing position with his pulse bomb. He blinks off of the high ground to Lip and death has come from above. His scythe is pulse bomb as he bags the kill onto What? Okay, this couldn't have been intentional, but Junbin rolled past Lip at this exact moment and was actually the one who got pulsed. Zira was so close to ending the map right then and there. That being said, the map actually is over. There's no climactic finish here with Zira getting a massive 5k or anything like that. The best team in the world literally just C9'd. I said this game isn't what you expect, and I meant it. While in this map we didn't see an absurd amount of kills or crazy plays from Zira, what we did see was absolute consistency. He stalled the point, he kept the backline distracted, he took his engagements as aggressive as he could without taking any unreasonable risks. Overwatch is a game of rules, and Zira simply won by following them. He didn't have to pop off or go crazy, he just didn't make a single mistake. Besides, I guess the pulse bomb onto Heesang. Like, come on. Listen, I know you're trying to like aura farm, but come on, man.